Hi, I'm Adam Baker, and today I've got MET stations on the mind. A couple days ago I had a customer who called up, said that the data that they were getting from their back of module temperature sensors wasn't what they expected it to be. It didn't seem to correlate with what they thought real world conditions were. And we looked into the situation, and they had a temperature coming in that wasn't being scaled properly, so it was under-reporting the temperature. But it got me thinking about MET stations more broadly. I've had good luck with Campbell scientific equipment over the years, and some of the reasons I like it is you can do a lot more things with the data logger itself. You can build some logic into the data collection algorithm. So we have an application where we are once every 5 minutes or so pulling some data from a bunch of 4 to 20 milliamp sensors. We don't want to supply loop power from the battery of the MET station to it continuously, so we've got some logic built into the data logger to turn on a 24-volt signal to power the RTD's transmitters, and then bring the data in for a short period of time and then shut everything off so we can extend the battery life of the system. Another way I've used the Datalogger's logic engine is when we're using a pyranometer out in the field, and some customers want to have a ventilator and a heater in the pyranometer to get good thermal stability and keep airflow inside the dome so that you don't get dust accumulated. But the heater and the ventilators take up a little bit of energy. In the instance where the 24-volt power supply goes off because of a maintenance issue or a short site outage or something like that, the data logger is able to detect that condition's occurred, and we stop the heater and the ventilator from operating while we're running the system on battery power, which just gives us a whole lot longer run life of the system. Whereas if we had the heaters and ventilators on, we'd probably only have about 2 or 3 days worth of run life. The other thing that I really like about it is you instantly convert internally whatever signal you have coming in into engineering units. Pyranometer is going to give me a millivolt signal. There's a correction factor and a calibration sheet that comes with the thing that'll tell you how much to multiply the value by so that you can get engineering units. Doing that as post-processing is subject to errors. Make sure that the right calibration factor is applied with the right device. Whereas if you're doing it in the data logger itself, there's actually a little wizard that allows you to put in the calibration factor directly. You don't have to figure out how to do the math to convert from millivolts to degrees or watts per square meter. Now you're reading and logging right in the watts per square meter units that you want to use. The other thing that it does is it logs locally to a card, as well as being having the data be available via Modbus for a client to pull it, or it also can transmit the data in DNP3. You want to know exactly when a sample was taken. The DNP3 communications will allow you to take the values along with the time that they were generated, bring it back into your SCADA system, and you might be able to do some correlations that you wouldn't be able to do if you had an analog data device that would just read in some values, convert it into a number that then gets pulled into the SCADA system for data logging and then later manipulation. I've never found an instrument that I couldn't use with the data logger. You put in a compact flash card, it'll read up to, I think we've used them up to 16 gigabytes of memory. And that's probably about 10, 12, 15 years worth of data storage. If you lose communications to the device and you want to be able to go out and recover data, you could get the last 2 years worth of data right off the data card inside the data logger, bring it back to the office, do some analysis on it. Campbell scientific data loggers and MET stations, there's no instruments we can't pair with it. We get excellent support from our vendor. They're based here in the United States, so getting stuff overnighted is never a problem. They've got every type of instrument I've ever looked for. That's my thoughts on data loggers today, and MET stations in general.